Good morning everybody, Graham once again from Unearthed. A couple of days before Christmas, the Minelab Equinox 900 arrives and I'm going to have to do a test on it. I'm going to have a look at it, I'm going to take it on the test bed, look at its features. Let's see what all the fuss is about. It's got a few people excited on social media, as we can see on Facebook and TikTok and other social media outlets, but let's have a proper look at this machine. I've not unboxed it yet, so I'm going to unbox it now and we'll see how we get on with it. Okay, just try to dodge a few dogs and we'll be right. Took me probably a minute and a half to build from the box, the Equinox 900. Very straightforward, because it's got the carbon fibre shaft system on it. It's already in place. That was very easy. The hardest part of this was getting the plastic label off the coil bolt before I could put it onto the shaft. I don't know why Minelab have put a plastic label, a sticky label on the shaft of the coil bolt, but that took the longest to get off. As you can see, this is a different coil altogether from the original Equinox coils. Different lugs. There's no nut, it's just a bolt straight through, which ties into the threaded part here, which is really good, I think. And it's obviously strengthened at the lugs. The first thing that stands out for me, really, is the build quality of this is completely different to the Equinox 6 and 800. It's a completely different animal, even down to the hand grip. Now, one of my bugbears of the Equinox 800, and you people will know this, is that sausage roll, fat sausage roll style grip on the Equinox. Aches your fingers and arms and your hand, I should say, after a few hours, like it certainly did with mine. This is completely different. This is much better, much more comfortable on the grip. So hats off to Minelab for sorting that out. That's a big difference for me. And of course, this is also interesting, is the arm cup's got no bolts and nuts at all. It's just this clip. You pull that and this arm cup will slide off. You put it back on and you clip it down, and there she is in place. This will be the same as the Manticore. It's an unbreakable arm cup, much better than the original ones. So at the moment I'm happy and I'm liking what I'm seeing, but let's have a look at some of its other features. So there she is built. That's not at its full extent, but it's just about there. And I'm a tall guy. This is perfect for the tall person. There's no real need for extended lower shafts on this. It's perfect lengthwise. And when I pick it up, what a difference in weight from the 800. It's completely different. It feels different. It feels solid. The build quality is there. It's probably everything I wanted the Equinox 800 to be, without sounding disrespectful to anybody. This is probably how I would want the 800 to be. So I'm impressed up to now. I'm going to turn the machine on. And as you can see, the layout of this machine, I'm going to see if I can just open this gimbal up a little bit so I'm not moving about too much. As you can see, it pretty much looks like the Equinox 800, however, slightly different colourings, and these buttons are slightly pronounced as well. But there is some features here that are different to the Equinox 800, 600, so let's go through that now. So as we can see, the layout's very similar. You've got the plus minus for the sensitivity. Now the difference is between this and the 800 is you can crank the sensitivity up all the way to, that was the original one on the Equinox 600 and 800. You can actually go a little bit further to 28 on this 900, just squeezing that little bit extra performance out of the detector. So that's one feature that's different. We've dropped that sensitivity down so we're not getting any noise, which is good. That's the sensitivity indicator there. At the moment we're in discrim mode, as you can see by the spectrum bar. If you want to drop it down into all metal, keep your finger on that for a few seconds, and we're into all metal there, as you can see. And we'll come back out of all metal. There you go. At the moment we're in park, so we need to change that. Park 2, field 1, field 2, beach 1, beach 2, gold 1, gold 2, and all the way back to park. So we'll have it in field 1, which is my favourite mode. Some people don't use it in field 1, some people use it in different modes. I'm only saying what my favourite setting is. Now I've put this screen cover on that came with it, or this plastic menu indicator. If you peel that off, underneath there it's wrote Minelab Equinox 900. It's just so people know that it is a 900. Now some of the interesting features of this machine is the backlight. Turn that on by this button here at the side. So I turn that on. As you can see underneath there's an LED light comes on. So if you're searching in low light conditions, it'll light the area around the coil. For me, that's quite bright actually, you can see it on my hand. For me, I won't use that, but for some people they will. And that's off. Also, using this light here, you can't see it in daylight at the moment, but it's in a red background. As you can just see that, you can just see the colour. So you turn that on first if you need it low light conditions. You keep your finger on this button for a slightly longer period, and it brings the LED light on in front of the detector. So I'll knock that off. Some of the other features on this machine, quite interesting I think. Noise cancel, dead simple. Back into the menu. You've got your ground balance, you can manually ground balance this, or you can use the auto system. It's entirely up to you. I've started using the manual ground balance on this just because I'm used to manually ground balancing my detectors anyway. Then you've got the volume adjust all the way up to 25, no difference between this and the Equinox 6 and 800. Then you've got your threshold level. Now your target tones are different. Your target tones are different, folks, and this is what we're going to go through next. One of the differences between this and the 800 is you've got different target tones to adjust. So we're on 2-tone at the moment. You can go to 5-tone, just the same as you could on the 800. And then you've got this other all-tone setting, which is all tones, which really is long and short beeps in 2 to 5 pitches. Now that'll be quite interesting for some people wanting to explore the new features of the 900. I think it'll be probably one of those settings that you'll probably grow into. So that's called the all tones setting, long and short beeps in 2 to 5 pitches, which is quite interesting. We'll obviously do more information on this and more work on it when we get it out and about detecting with it in the future, but it's just showing you the features there, folks. And another new feature on this machine is the DP. Now that's it's like a continuous pitch, I think, and large and shallow targets will sound louder than the small deeper ones using this feature. So that's also another feature for people to explore. So you've got your all tones, you've got your DP, you've got your 5-tone, and you've got your 2-tone. So if you remember, was it the 50 tones that was on the Equinox 800? That's been replaced by the all tones and the DP setting. The next one along, let's just get out of that, get back into multi. You've got the accept and reject, you've got your recovery speed, and you've got the same of the FE tone, your iron bias behind that. You've also got some other hidden menu settings in here under the volume adjust, target tones, where you can go into a hidden menu to adjust the sounds of the tones and things. I'm not going to do that today, but if you wanted to change and customize this machine, you can actually do that. Now also what you'll notice, we're in multi at the moment. You can actually change out of multi into 4 kilohertz, 5, 10, 15, 20 and all the way up to 40, single frequency, and back to multi. Me personally, I wouldn't bother with 4 kilohertz. Some people are saying, you know, 4 kilohertz is good for deep targets. For me, it's a bit numb. The detector seems a bit numb, a bit unsensitive, and I also found on my Equinox 800 that the battery drained down quite considerably quicker using the 4 kilohertz setting. So I now choose to ignore that. But each to their own, folks. Some people might want to use it. 5's probably the same. It starts getting up to 15, what interests me for a single frequency search. 15, 20 and 40 seem to be very good, just in case you're detecting on certain areas where there's high levels of electromagnetic interference. These single frequency settings are very, very good. So we'll come out of that. That's your pinpoint. Press the wrong button there, folks, didn't I? So I do apologise for that. So there's a lot of different little bits and pieces in this detector that makes it stand out from the previous Equinox models. You've seen the hardware, you've seen the stem system, the new coil, this new arm cup which just clips on and clips off, which is really good. You've seen it's got a backlight, it's got a red LED screen. There is another one as well, and before I forget, because people will probably pull me up on it, if I go into the volume adjust and I press the frequency shift button, it clips in the master vibrating handle. So as I clicked into that, then click out, I'm in volume, you click on that, your vibrating handle kicks in, which is really interesting for people that maybe have a hard of hearing. They're going over a target, the handle will vibrate. Very similar to some of the other features on some other machines. Minelab have incorporated that feature into the 700, the Equinox 700, and this particular model, the 900. So that might be of interest to some people. Personally, I won't be using that feature, but I can see why people think it works. So we're going to knock it off. I'm just going to talk through some other bits and pieces now, very quickly, just to give you a recap of the difference. So we'll see on the test bed very soon the difference between this machine and the Equinox 800 is the target IDs are now all the way up to 99, whereas the previous model, the 800, it was 39. So there's a wider spectrum for the target IDs now, which will be interesting. People are going to have to relearn certain objects, coins, artifacts and such like. You're going to have a wider band, which is going to be better. That was one of the other reasons why I thought they could have improved the 800, is putting the 0 to 99 on, and they've done that, which is really good. Target separation on this machine is better than the previous models, so better target separation, that's been upgraded, and it's 5 meters now waterproofing rather than 3. It collapses down to 24 inches, whereas in the past, I think in the past it was about 42 inches. So there's a considerable difference between that and the previous 600 and 800 models. And it's got the low latency wireless headphones with this detector, and of course the new Minelab search coils, if you've seen, improved backlight, vibrating handle, that sort of thing. So there's a lot going for this machine, but let's go get it out on the test bed. If I can move these sheep now, we should be able to do it before the rain kicks in. So folks, we've had a look now at the Equinox, and we've looked at its features and its differences between the Equinox 800. Now what we want to do is take it on the test bed. However, we have to negotiate getting away from these, and that's going to be the hardest job today, is shifting these lot, because the test bed's just over that way, and what we need to do is move them, if they let me. So we are finally now out on the test bed, folks. I've moved the sheep into the field next door. That took some doing. I've set the machine up already. It saves a bit of time, and I don't want people to get too bored, but we're going to just use it on basic settings. I'm in field 1, I'm in multi-frequency. I have got the sensitivity on 20, however we can crank it up to 28 if we wish. A little bit of noise coming because we've got a little bit of EMI above us, as you can see. These power lines go right above the test bed for that reason. That's why we set the test bed up here, just to give it that real life scenario. So we'll get it on 22. 22 sensitivity. I've got it on 2 tone. Recovery speed on 4. Iron bias on 2. 2 tones. Discrim mode. Nothing else to go through. Just very, very simplistic for now. I'm not going into the hidden menu, but we need to just see how this machine performs on the targets. Now, a lot of you that watch this YouTube channel, you'll be aware of this test bed. It's now been sheep nibbled to death, and it's at its lowest. This is the best time to get on this test bed because there's absolutely no grass, and there's a lot of targets on here, and a lot of machines pick the targets up. So I'm not going to start seeing this Equinox 900 has picked up targets that other machines have missed, because that won't be the case. It just gives you an idea of the VDI numbers, tone strength, that sort of thing. There is a couple of deep targets on here that some machines do miss. However, I expect this 900 to really hit just about every target, if not every target, in its path. So let's have a go. First thing, I'm swinging this for the first time, and I'm really impressed with its feel. Now, it's a lot lighter than the Equinox, my previous Equinox 800. The grip is just far better than that horrible sausage roll grip, as I called it. It's just like gripping a frozen sausage roll. First target coming up in the 20s, bouncing around a little bit. And I'm actually lifting that coil off the ground, look, because it's a shallow target, so it's just going to hit everything in its path. But it'll be interesting to see some of these VDI numbers on some of these copper coins, Roman coins, and such like. So let's just see if we can do it before this rain kicks in, because I'm just a little bit conscious of horrendous weather due in about half an hour. Roman coin, and look at the numbers. 38, 39, 38, 39. Now, usually with the 800, that'll be way down in the teens on the VDI numbers. Higher. So it's a different scale completely, which is better. Big copper coin, this. Big Georgian copper coin. Banging them out. I'm actually lifting the coil on some of these targets. They're just not a problem. Not a problem at all. We didn't expect it to be a problem. It's not a problem. Just going to see if we can get some of them deep artifacts. And here is one. 44, 45. Not a problem to that machine. That would have been again in the low teens on the earlier model. So at the moment, I think this is going to be, I think in time, when people stop getting a little bit excited about, oh, I wish they could do a software update on my current 600 and 800, this machine's a completely different machine, different software, upgraded software, so it couldn't be a simple software upgrade for previous machines. So that's why it hasn't been done. Like I said, this is a new machine completely, and I think it's going to be a good one. This is going to be mine. I'm going to keep this for obvious reasons, because I sold my previous Equinox to my friend. It's just picking the targets up so nice, which you would expect because other machines do. Roman coin, and that Roman coin is only down about 5 or 6 inches, folks, so I'm not going to get anybody too excited about the depth, but again, probably late teens on the 800, 46, 43. You ain't going to miss that. And remember, what we're on, 22 cents, so let's crank it up a bit to 28, see if we can get on with that. So it's on maximum sensitivity now, a little bit lively. I never max my machines out. I used to max my old Fisher F75 out. That's probably the last machine that I ever maxed out, and it's because sometimes it can have a counter effect. It's not a problem, is it? Just picking them out with pretty much ease, really. It just gives you an idea of the VDI numbers, folks. I'm just going to drop that sensitivity down while I get near that junction box. Put it to 20. Back into search mode. There is actually a gold ring on here. I'm going to go and see if I can find it. It'll be interesting to see. It's a split gold ring. And see what numbers. And we have it. 26. Now on the, if I remember, if you look back on my previous videos of the Equinox 800, that ring was coming up, I think, 10s, 9s, 10s, 11s. There we go, there's a difference. Can you see that? I do apologise for the wind, folks. It is howling from the east. Not a problem, is it? Not a problem. So the VDI numbers are different, folks. You're going to have to get used to learning that process, but you watch. Now this is interesting because that's a damaged hammered coin. I'm just lining it up with the gate post over there. Sorry, the fence post. 30. So there you go, that would have been again lowish numbers for that, probably 11s, 10s. There's a difference already in the VDI numbers. Now these fines on here are going to come up. I'm going to be lifting these soon and moving the test bed because this is going to be developed, this top end of this field soon. So it'll be waving goodbye to the Unearthed test bed, which has served us so well over the years. Now here, in amongst all that sheep muck, I could call it something else, couldn't I? But I would be rude. There is a buckle, quite a big bronze late medieval buckle buried, which he's picking up perfect. Now look at the numbers. '85, '84. Not a problem. Not a problem. So there you go. That's just a brief overview of the new Equinox 900. I will be using this over the Christmas period, and I'll be using it on the Unearthed organised dig between Christmas and New Year. Just so nice on the targets, folks, so nice. And hopefully I'll be able to get up detecting myself a little bit. More targets, look. That's in the 40s. And these targets are down, probably this one here, I would say 5 to 6 inches, no different. That buckle back there that we picked up is a little bit deeper, 8 inches. There's some deeper targets on it, some 10s, 11s, 12 inches deep. And that's probably as good as we're going to get today because the rain is starting. I can feel it on the back of my head. Thank you very much for watching, folks. It's been a very interesting first look, straight out of the box, folks, no messing about. So if I've missed anything, I do apologise. You'll pick me up on it, but there is the first view of the Equinox 900. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.